Thank you all. Thank you, Swamiji. And thank you also to Swami Matukripa Nrita Chaitanya for remembering us and inviting us. We had briefly met him for probably 5 minutes when we came here last year to this hall for some other external event. So we happened to meet then and very kind of remember. And Dr. Mahadevan to call and coordinate and invite us. So when they said, please come to Amrita Vishwavidyalaya, we said, yes, sure, we will. So even though we had something else, since we committed, we'll certainly be here. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. Wonderful here. So the subject is about IKS. This is what we've been asked to speak about. And IKS will be gaining, has been gaining momentum in the last year or two, and over the next decade and more, it's going to gain substantial more momentum because it's part of the policy framework of the land. It's a very integral part of the new education policy, national education policy. So, and 5% of the credits has to come from IKS, so it's going to be very strong across the subjects of the land, be it chemistry or law or what you call physical training, whatever it may be, medicine, everything is going to be part of it. So in every area there's IKS. Here, just now we had a professor of chemistry speaking about different aspects. Thank you, sir. Since you mentioned that, yes, there you are. Do you know which is the oldest chemistry text in the world? It's part of IKS. This dialogue between Parvati and Parameshwar. The idea of, which is rasa ayana, rasa, juice, essence, ayana, the journey. So rasa ayana is the subject itself. Chemistry, what we say in the Greco-Egyptian, Anglican language now, has its roots of rasa ayana. Every subject we'll see over the next 90 minutes is the time given to us. We'll look at different aspects in that. And it will be a jugalbandi both between my wife, Dr. Hema, and myself. And I think it will be, that's how it's always been, wherever we do. It will be both in English and any other language. English is fine or good. So the idea is to approach to Indian knowledge system, which is Bharatiya Jnana Parampara. And we have been having this, our samstha called Bharat Gyan for the past 25 years. We both have traveled the world and seen different things, and we found that while we study about other lands, knowledges, civilizations, we know very little about Bharatam itself. That's why we started Bharat Gyan, to know what is the knowledge of this land, what is the knowledge of this civilization, what is there in it. The what is what brought us to what we're doing. And one other thing the professor before that spoke about is, one thing that came out, he said very clearly, was the discussion about knowledge. We'll be discussing about it for 5 minutes now.
So, Om Namah Shivaya to everybody. And at the beginning, just would like to say, whatever we don't say, you can find little more in our book, Indian Knowledge System, the approach to it, which is on our website. We'll show you how to get there.
It's a free read book. It's a 50-page book, just an introduction to what IKS is, and what IKS, how we can use IKS in our regular teachings. It's a book available for all to free read.
See, we normally talk about Bharata as a land of dharma, right? Now, there are two things in this, because when we talk about Bharatiya Jnana Parampara, we are talking about the Jnana Parampara that has originated from Bharat. And what is this Bharat? We always talk about it as a land of dharma. But do we know what really this Bharat stands for and what really dharma stands for? Unless we know this, how are we going to approach this IKS? See, one thing different about IKS, it is not just a set of literary material that you can just read. Like earlier Swamiji said, you have to relate to it. You have to relate to it to understand it. Otherwise, whatever it's saying is just going to go over your head. So first, let us start with relating to what is Bharata, and then we shall relate to what is Dharma. So we're just going to play a couple of small films for you to watch this, to make it light and different aspects, so you don't sleep. Somebody said sleeping in the first hour itself. No, you don't.
Nothing wrong. If anybody wants to sleep, please go ahead and sleep. Nothing you're going to say is important. You can certainly sleep on only one condition. Don't snore and disturb the other person sleeping next to you. On that condition, yes. Okay, that's very important. And if you want to ask questions in between, which is what was discussed in Swamiji's session, please ask questions. This is not a monologue or a dialogue. This is going to be a multi-log. That's how we conduct all our sessions anywhere. It has to be a multi-log.
As per the Indian Constitution, this land is called India, that is Bharat.
Why does this country have two names? Why is India called Bharat?
The word Bharat etymologically stands for Bha, that is light, the spreading of light, the knowledge which comes with the spreading of light, and Rat, one who is a connoisseur of knowledge. The spread of this land is also expressed in the literature of the land. In the Rig Veda, Rishi Vishwamitra describes the people living in this land as Bharatam Janam. The word Janam means people, citizens.
Bharat is the land where people relish knowledge.
This film is available in our YouTube for use. Actually, one teacher came and said, we use a lot of your short films in our classes. Thank you so much. That's the very purpose we put it in open source for all our teacher colleagues to use, the faculty colleagues to use it. Look at this. People say India became a land only when the British came. No, the idea of Bharatam Janam is said by Rishi Vishwamitra in the pre-Rama days. That means for 7,000 years we knew we are Bharatam and we are Bharatam Janam. It's in the Rig Veda. So the citizenship of this land, if anybody try to question it for you, it's as old as a millennia old is a concept of Bharatam. And look at the term Bharatam itself, it's got two components as you saw it in the film. Bhaskara, Bhanumati, light, the glow, the ray, Jnanam, and Ratha, Rati, one who is a connoisseur of. Because Rati means what? Manmada Rati. One who comforting, one who gives pleasure, one who is enjoyable. So knowledge is enjoyable. Can you think of any other land in the world, city, village, country, river, hill, anything in the world which calls itself a land of knowledge? This is the only civilization for the last 7,000, 8,000 years we called ourselves as land of knowledge, civilization of knowledge, people who relish knowledge. So what are you all faculty? Using your faculty for knowledge. No, think of it for a moment, pause here. No other city, country, village has got a name, has named itself as people of knowledge. We are unique in that, isn't it? And be proud of it and express it everywhere. The other kings all came out of that name. The source name is this.
But it's very interesting here. You can call yourself anything. But are you really that? Will depend upon what others also see you as. Do others also recognize that you are people of knowledge? And here is where we'll see a beautiful evidence for this.
She's going to show you a Chinese quote now. See, we call ourselves people of knowledge, land of knowledge. What do our neighbors say? We are good. We say we are good. Do our neighbors say you are good?
So the Chinese, they divided the world into 5 different kings. So they said they are China king of humans because they obey. Then they said the Turks, they are king of lions because they're very ferocious, courageous. They said Persia, that land is the king of kings. They have all the wealth and glory and fertile lands and so on. They said Rome is the king of men, beautiful physique and robust men. Then look at what they said about India. So they said Indians are king of wisdom.
Jnanam.
Jnanam. So a neighboring civilization, equally big, equally ancient, They are calling us as king of wisdom. Out of all those different characteristics, they are attributing knowledge to India.
They are, not now, 2000, 3000 years ago. What is the, okay, all of you know that we have spoken about China. What does the word China mean? China. China is an English form, Anglican term. China. What does it mean in the Chinese Mandarin language? Land to the east. East of what? East of Bharadam. So what is their center point? Bharadam. So they are saying, my land is to the east of Bharadam. So you are willy-nilly the center point. So if you say, I am so-and-so's parents, whom are you bringing in the Madhya? Your parents, your ancestry. So you are that, like that. They are, what are they saying? They are saying, we are land to the east. China. In the very naming of the land, they are giving importance to Bharadam. Look at the beauty of it. Now
And
let's look at go
this
west.
is also echoed by so many of the Arabs more than 1,000 years ago. So this is in Basra, Baghdad. So
Okay.
here is a...
How many of you have pearls, especially ladies? All of you like pearls, right? Yes, their hands go up. Some of the best pearls in the world are called Basra pearls. Even the paint, Asian paints are called Basra pearl color paint. So that place, Basra, in Persia, there's a great scholar that some 1,300 years ago, this date is also there. What does he say? The epicenter of knowledge of the world 1,300 years back is Bharadam. In
So
what all
he's
fields?
saying we find them at the first place in astronomy, mathematics, so many different, even games and medicine,
Chess,
arts,
dance,
different
magic.
aspects. They're saying, and he's not the only one again. There are others as well. This again is an Arab philosopher, but later in time, he's also talking about Hisab, mathematics, swords,
accounts,
and so many things. I mean, this is to emphasize.
Andalusi.
Andalusi, he is...
Okay, where is
Yes.
Andalusia? Andalusia? Spain, very good. Air Andalusia is a Spanish airline. So Andalusia is the Iberian Peninsula. This scholar in Spain, he's an Arabic scholar, but in Spain, which is, he says, the most intelligent, knowledgeable people of the world, Bharadam, in
And
Spain.
Careful treatment of ulum, which is science. So, because there is this perception that India is only spirituality. No, there was lot of science, and the world sought that science. So today, if we are saying we need to go back to our IKS, learn IKS, and he beautifully pointed about science and spirituality, you need that because this is something that has stemmed from this land. And this land has influence. If you see, actually we conduct this over a long course, over 3-4 quarters, and even then the list is incomplete. The contributions from this land in the realm of matter and mind. So not only mind, but matter also we have contributed a lot, and the world is what it is today because of all these Indian contributions.
Yes.
You can trace every one of it back to Indian contributions. And
Not
that
10, 20, not 100, 200, thousands of contributions that the world today says it is. It has roots, bija, where in the knowledge of Bharadam. And we conduct actually courses on this, which is important, mind or matter. It's an eternal question in spirituality. We have contributed both matter and mind is what we bring out.
I'll just play another small film. This is actually prepared by a student of ours. And so just a small short one.
2 minutes.
That originated in India. The widespread Let's delve into scientific concepts and practices that originated in India. The widespread perception that modern science is different and has evolved on its own stems from a distorted world historical narrative shaped by colonizers. Whether in medicine, mathematics, chemistry, metallurgy, or astronomy, many modern breakthroughs trace their roots back to the wisdom of Indian rishis. Ayurveda, India's ancient system of medicine, laid the foundational stones for many streams of modern healthcare, such as surgery and vaccination. The concept of Krimi in Ayurveda was documented thousands of years ago in ancient Indian texts like the Atharva Veda, Charka Sanghita, and Sushrut Sanhita. They refer to microscopic and macroscopic organisms which were understood to cause disease. Krimi was classified into Drishta and Adrishta categories that enter the body through water, milk, curd, food, and vessels. The Krimi were also further classified based on size, shape, color, such as Jivanu or microbes, Udar Krimi or body parasites such as worms, and Kida and Patanga, which are insects. The ancient rishis had the tools to visualize Krimi. Our scriptures also provide detailed descriptions of Krimi as tiny, invisible corpuscles of a single unit, circular disc-like structures, and copper-colored without feet. How did they see in much detail if the modern microscope was only discovered in 1590? In the book Nyaya Sanhita by Rishi Gautama, there are descriptions of innovative lenses made of materials such as Kaanch, Abrapatal, and Spatika to visualize these microscopic organisms. Thus, the people of India were aware of Krimi, its effects, and methods to control it, indicating a penetrative insight of microscopic pathogens long before the advent of modern microbiology. In modern medicine, the discovery of microbes and the validation of germ theory are largely attributed to Western scientists, like Antony van Leeuwenhoek, who first observed microorganisms under a microscope in the 17th century, and Louis Pasteur, who advanced germ theory and developed pasteurization in the 19th century. Yet it is remarkable that similar concepts were documented in Bharat's ancient Ayurvedic Sanhitas millennia earlier. This convergence with modern science underscores the vast and pioneering nature of our ancient knowledge systems.
So we make these shorts like this so we can share with all our students, teacher, faculty and others. They're all available in our YouTube channel, and we make them using AI, the latest technologies. So all these AI generated films that we make now using all this.
So what we have placed here is right now, so many evidences to show that the Indian knowledge system has pioneered and spurred the development of science world over. Some of it alone has been used. There is still a vast amount still left that has to be discovered from our texts and can be applied in today's times. But now the question comes, how do we understand? So which is why we see that the recent thrust for Indian knowledge system that's come, and people are taking on to it. But now the question will come, how do you approach it? Now to approach this, you have to keep in mind the other aspect of Bharat. So we saw Bharat, we saw its connection with knowledge, we saw how it's a place where people relished knowledge, produced a lot of knowledge, which has caused a lot of influence. But to understand how this knowledge came about and how it can be approached, you need to understand the other side of Bharat, which is its dharma. But so, before you understand Bharat's dharma, what is exactly dharma?
What is dharma? Is it duty? Is it being good? Is it being righteous? Is it being dhanam? What is dharma? Or is it all of this and more? If so, what?
See, very, very simple way, because this dharma question, the word is such a big thing and it's such a complex, everybody gets scared of it. The very easiest and simplest way to approach it is to understand the word itself. So it comes from the root dhr, which means to bear, to hold, which is why you have the word dharma for earth. That which holds, that which is bearing you, dharani. So dharma is that which is held by something. What is held? What is the very, very fundamental thing that anything and everything holds? It is its nature. Its inseparable, innate, inherent nature. So dharma is fundamentally the innate nature that is held by anything and everything in this cosmos. Everything that has stemmed from cosmic, the creation, including the creator also, has that dharmic nature. That nature, inherent nature is there. And what is held is what holds the whole cosmic order. Which is why you have verses which says, Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. So what you hold, holds the universe as well. So when you look at this, what is being held, then you come to start understanding our ancestors when they have created this knowledge base. And we are going to see samples of this to make you appreciate this knowledge.
So when you say she's explained the base concept of dharma. Now I'm going to ask you one thing. Each of you have a dharma. Is your dharma same to your parents, to your spouse, your children, your neighbors or friends? No. Dharma varies with each one. Your nature with each one varies. The way you behave with your spouse is very different with the way you behave with a friend, the way you behave with somebody else in the family, each one. So what comes in then? The relation, the interpersonal relation, the behavior. That is an integral part of dharma. That is what it is. So dharma is all good, right? All that is fine. But what? The relationship of each, because the dharma to each one is very different. The dharma in each position is different. The dharma in the morning is different from the dharma in the evening. That is what it is. Geospatial, it is time spatial is what the key concept of dharma is also about. Now,
and understanding these interactions are what gives rise to the phenomenon. And that is science. So everything has its innate nature, and with those interactions are what happen the phenomena and your understanding of it as science.
Now all of us talk about Sanatana Dharma. And some people like it, some people don't understand it, so they say things that are not pleasant. Okay, now, what is Sanatana? Eternal. Eternal means what? Good point, answer is right, but eternal means what? Ever old, very old, and present and valued today, of value today. What is the dharma of this earth that we all live in? Bhuma Devi, Bhudevi, Prithvi, Dharti. In Turkic language, Dunya. What is this world? Jia in the Greek language. What is the dharma of the earth? To hold you to it. Otherwise, when you sleep tonight here, tomorrow morning you will wake up in Mars or Venus. So to hold you here, the gravity to hold you is the dharma of the earth. To rotate is the dharma of the earth. Otherwise, you will not have day and night. To revolve is the dharma of the earth. Otherwise, you will not have seasons, ritu, rhythm, you will not have rhythm. Okay? Now the point is, that's the dharma of the earth. Is this dharma of the earth very, very old? Before you were born? Before 1,000 ancestors of yours were born? So it's oldest of the old is dharma of the earth itself. What's the dharma of the sun? To have atomic explosions every minute and give you heat and give you light. And also to hold the earth itself, the sun doesn't hold you, the sun holds the earth, which in turn holds you. So each have a character role in relationship. Okay, so that is the dharma of the sun. What is the dharma of the galaxy to hold the sun? So is that new or old? Very, very old, unthinkably old. So that is Sanatana. Is that dharma of holding the earth, holding you, present now? Yes. Will it be present tomorrow? Will it be present next year? Yes. So it's ever new plus ever old. That is Sanatana. The oldest of the old, youngest of the young is Sanatana. And it's valid for earth, valid for plants, valid for animals, valid for kirmi, valid for all of us. In each relationship way is dharma. Simple. What can be explained in few hours, we told you in 2 minutes. So look at how beautiful. So if somebody says they don't understand, see, to understand IKS, you should know what dharma is. This is Sanatana Dharma. And in this, one of the components is IKS. In that, one of the components is the approach to IKS. Let's look at, and we wanted to specifically do this bit here today, this particular, because we have spoken about this in 100 places, what are we showing next. But we want to do it here in this campus, because what is the hill range we are in? Western Ghats. Okay, if you say the east, you'll got Eastern Ghats. If you say north, you'll got Northern Ghats. You'll south, you'll got Southern Ghats. But why Western Ghats is an Anglican name for 200 years? But what is this hill called?
Did we have a name for it?
Before
so that is the point we are coming to. So if you look at Sahyadri.
Why is it called Sahyadri? Why is it Sahyadri? Why can't it call Buhyadri or Bahyadri or Palghatadri, Coimbatore-adri? Why do you call it Sahyadri?
So, this is the point that we have to bear in mind when we say we want to approach IKS. This dharma, which is the nature of anything and everything, is what our ancestors have taken care to reflect in the names they have given to everything. Like dharti means to bear. So, dharti, that's the name. So, like that, his question of what is Sahyadri.
Before that, she goes to Sahyadri, I'll ask you, what is the season we are having now? Rainy season. When does it start raining in Bharat? When does it start raining in April or in February, in September, October, January? When does it rain in Bharat? June. June which day? Which day does rain hit Bharadam, Thiruvananthapuram or Marthandam, the southwest point, on what day of the year? June 1st, June 2nd. Very good. June 1st, Marthandam, June 2nd, Thiruvananthapuram, and June 3rd, Kochi, June 4th, Kozhikode, June 5th, Mangalapuram, Mangalore, June 6th, Goa, June 7th, Karwar, June 8th, Mumbai, June 9th, Surat, Baroda, June 10th, Saurashtra. But why? Is there any clock? Is there any calendar in the sky? June 1st means I should start raining in Marthandam. June 2nd, I should come to Thiruvananthapuram. June 5th means I should go to Goa. Is there any calendar written in the sky that you punch the day calendar, it starts raining in Goa? Is it been happening only last year or 100 years back or 1000 years back? For thousands of years back. But why do you have rains every year on June 1st, monsoon comes to Bharadam?
And what do we call rains, rainy season? Varsha, Malai, Tamil, Varsha.
All Indian language, Varsha.
Varsha we call for rain. What do we call a year? Varsha. Tamil, Varudam.
Varudam, Varsham.
And is also there, Varudam is also there. It is variation of Varsha also. And then what do we call our land? Bharata. We don't stop with Bharata. We say Bharata Varsham. One is land, one is time, one is element of water, and all are called Varsham.
Why? Why should you call any lady here by the name Varsha? Seriously, we'll ask that lady the question. Why is your name called Varsha? So why do you have a land also called Varsha, year also called Varsha, rain also called Varsha?
So first somebody. Sorry? Varam.
What is the Varam?
Also.
Good. What is the Varam? Varam, yes, I agree. What is the Varam?
You are touching a very, very important point. I don't know if we'll be able to spend that time. It is about, we call ourselves, this land is a Punya Bhumi. It is with the Varam. But what is that Varam? See, one is Punya Bhumi from a very spiritual angle, but it holds good even in your physical reality.
We'll see what the Varam is. Next 5 minutes, we'll see what the Varam is. So, going back to the original question, why does it rain for us on June 1st every year for thousands years, for 10,000 years, 20,000 years, and next year also it will rain only on June 1st? But why?
So, we will start with why call it Varsha. We'll see how all the three are Varsha.
Have you ever wondered why we call our land as Bharata Varsha? We call rain as Varsha. We call a year also as Varsha. What is the connect between these three Varsha?
In this whole world, after the Amazon forests, the one single landmass that gets the highest rainfall consistently year after year is Bharat Varsha, which is India. The onset of monsoon rains, Varsha, which came the same time every year, marked a year for the farmers in the agrarian society of Bharat.
this ragam
Hence,
is Amrita
Varsha also came to denote the concept of a year.
Thus, we see a distinct connection between rain, year and land. Rain is Varsha, year is also Varsha. The land over which this rain Varsha rained prosperity year on year is also Bharat Varsha.
Simple, isn't it? Varsha, Varsha, Varsha. So simple. This is one of the fundamentals of Indian knowledge system. You have to know about our land, Bharatam. Isn't it? Now we'll see one film as to why this Varsha comes to Varsha every Varsha. The why of it we'll see now.
So the earlier ragam was Amrita Varshini, and this ragam is Hindustani Malhar. They're all connected with rain ragams, and it is very nice of Dr. Jayanti and Dr. Kumresh to have composed these music for us.
Why does it rain every year on this land without fail? What are the forces of nature that bring this rain to this land every year?
In the month of May, there is summer in the northern hemisphere. In the interiors of India, temperatures soar to 45 degrees centigrade and even more. In Sahara Desert, the temperature range is between 45 degrees to 50 degrees centigrade. This extreme heat causes low pressure. During this time, it is winter in the southern hemisphere. The Great Australian Desert is cooler and hence high pressure prevails there. It is well known that winds always move from high pressure to low pressure. So the cool winds move from central Australia in a northwesterly direction towards the hot Sahara Desert. As the winds cross the equator, they turn right in consonance with nature due to the Earth's spin, which is explained as Farrell's law. Picking up moisture along the way from the Indian Ocean, the moisture-laden winds blow in towards India, thereby bestowing monsoon rains all over the land.
So now you see very clearly, because the rains for us is because we have a hot summer. Because we have a hot summer, from the Great Australian Desert, you're getting the winds. And when the winds come, there's no land from the Australian Desert all the way up to Africa and Indian subcontinent. Look at that. So it's only Indian Ocean, Hindu Mahasagar. It picks up all the water as it comes, the dry winds come. And like how a cricket spinner bowls a ball or a football, they do the banana kick. What happens? The moment it crosses the equator, this earth slopes the other way. So what happens? The winds turn direction. Because the earth is sloping naturally, because a ball. So it turns the other way. And what is there? Bharadam. The land of Bharadam is there. Simple. So it hits it. Suppose Bharadam was 5 degrees latitude, longitude, different place, what will happen? We would not have got the rains. So when you say Punya Bhumi, yes, we have a lot of Punyatma in this land continuously. This land is endowed with Punyatma, but we also geographically well placed. When you say Vastu Sastra, this land is exactly placed in the world in the right Vastu place. This is the higher level of Vastu Sastra. If you have placed 5 degrees latitude north, 5 degrees latitude south, or 5 degrees east, west longitude, you will not have received these rainfalls. It will go elsewhere. Now, good. She showed you these films now. Now the rains come here. Suppose the Sahyadri mountain is not there. What will happen to the clouds? It will just go away to Hong Kong and to Japan, isn't it?
So it's not enough if Bharatam is here alone. You need this Sahyadri.
Sahaya Adri. Adri. Hemadri, Totadri, Venkatadri, Garudadri. Adri means hills. So you need the Adri which is doing Sahayam. So it's called Sahaya Adri. What is the Sahyam it's doing? See, this is the mountain, Sahyadri.
So, look at this beautiful thing that's happening actually the next few months. So, the clouds come, they are heavy with water, so they can't go too high. So, the Sahyadri is enough to block it, and they rain here on this side of the Sahyadri. But after that is so this side is where you have the entire coast, Kerala, Goa, Mumbai, Maharashtra, Konkan, everything, they get heavy
All the
rains.
Malabar coast, Konkan coast,
But
Karwar coast.
after it discharges, it becomes little lighter, it's able to cross and come inside into the land. Now look what is there here.
No, which is why Swamiji told me beginning of session, we are in a rain shadow area. That's the reason. Because we are this year, so it's obviously we are in shadow. Geographically we are there.
And the beauty of that is now, even though you're in a rain shadow region, look at what Mother Nature has given you. Your land is sloping from east to west. So
Gradient.
all the rains that fall on the hill, on the Sahyadri hill,
Eastern slopes.
all of them start running eastwards. So the entire peninsula, southern peninsula, is crisscross with rivers. Imagine if you didn't have all those rivers right from Tamraparani to Krishna, Godavari and all that. They are all
Mahanadi,
coming from there.
Damodar.
Everything is pouring because of this Sahyadri and the slope of the land. So it is not just the rains coming, it is the Sahyadri, it is the slope of the land. Okay, that takes care of the Deccan Peninsula. Now what about the other regions of India? So look at what happens to these clouds. So the Sahyadri is here, it crosses, it comes here, you have all the rivers here. Now where will the clouds go? In which direction? They're all coming from here, southwest monsoon.
Because every day fresh wind, fresh clouds are coming from Australia.
And they're pushing the clouds, so they have to keep moving.
They're pushing like goods train, they're pushing the previous cloud, they're pushing it away. Where does it go?
Where will it go now? And what will it encounter?
No, Vindhyachal mountains.
Vindhyas here.
It hits the Vindhyas
And how is it? It is running like this.
across.
So it
Not
prevents
like,
all these
Sahyadri is like
clouds.
Vindhya is like this.
So it prevents these clouds from, so it hits the Vindhya again. So it has to rain in all this. That's how you have those lovely rivers, Narmada, Tapti and all those rivers.
Godavari, Damodar Valley.
And after that, okay, now the clouds become lighter. They rise, they cross the Vindhya and they go further. Then what happens to them? They encounter the Himalayas.
Hima Alaya. Hima, snow, Alaya, abode of snow.
And if you didn't have, so then that is the last. So and they're so tall they cannot cross over. Even if they discharge, they still cannot cross over. So where do they go after that?
They spin.
They're desperate. The clouds are desperate because they're all coming in huge
Pushing.
quantities. Where will they go? Now, if Himalaya is blocking, what will they do?
Eastwards.
They start sliding eastwards. And where will they end up? And when they go eastwards, what happens to them?
Eastern
What do they
Himalayas is
encounter? They encounter the Arakan-Yoma range,
Peruguyoma, Arakan-Yoma, Peruguyoma range is there close to Burma.
the Burma border mountains.
Meghalaya, eastern part, all that you got
So
those
they
hills.
cannot cross
Garo
that
Khasi hills.
either. So where do they end up after that?
They spin and come and drop down in Meghalaya.
They come to Meghalaya.
Mega Alayam. Hima Alayam, Mega Alayam. They come there and finally pour everything there.
So,
Then only the dry winds cross over. That's why Tibet is dry. Because Tibet is a desert because only dry winds can go there because it has to rise up to go there. So it drops all the weight, all the moisture drops it here.
so look at that. If you can understand, every time you say the word Meghalaya, if you are a true Indian, you will know of this entire phenomena.
Look
You
at the
know what is
vast
Varsha.
design.
You will know why we are a Punya Bhumi. You will know why we are Sahyadri. You know why we have the Himalaya. You have the Meghalaya. You know this entire geography lesson is taught to you with the word Meghalaya.
So,
That is Indian knowledge.
so if somebody tells you Vastu is not for a house, put the kitchen there, put the toilet there, put the window here, put the door here. This Bharata Varsham itself is Vastu designed by Prakriti, Yerkai, nature. Ma Bharati is Vastu designed land. No other land is Vastu designed in the world. Isn't it? No other land is Vastu designed like this. This is Punya Bhumi. And what is Karma Bhumi? Our job is to know this and work on this as karma. That is karma bhumi. To
Because
know
why
this is,
the important aspect is
IKS is to know.
this,
Only then you can work on it.
to know that even though you have all this varam, even though you're a punya bhumi, how long will it rain?
Okay, how long does it rain in Bharadam? 4 months. Does it rain morning to night, all 4 months, all 24 hours? Okay, okay, wait. How many hours do you have in a day? 24 hours. How many hours do you have in a week? Pardon? So, anybody who studied 6th standard mathematics, arithmetics will know how many hours are there in a week. Anybody who has not studied 6th standard, don't answer. No calculator, no cell phone. Okay. How many hours are there in a month? How many hours are there in a year? I know the answer because I've done it already. It's 8,760 hours. 8,760 hours are there in a year. Okay. How many hours does it rain on an average? Of course, Meghalaya gets little more rain. Thar Desert will get little less rain. Etimadai will get little less rain. Cochin will get more rain. Kollam will get more rain. So it varies. But average of Bharadam, what is the average rainfall in a year in Bharadam?
Not in terms of quantity.
Yes, hours.
Hours.
How
Time
many hours
duration.
does it rain on an average in Bharadam? Any place? In national average? In a year. It rains 100 hours on an average. 80 to 120. So average is national average 100 hours.
So even though you have 4 months of rainy season, if you really count the hours, the minutes that it has actually rained, it will span only about 100 hours. But how many hours do you have in a year? 8,760. So this is a land, even though you have this 100 hours of so much rain, it is only for 100 hours. If you just let it go for 8,660 hours, you
balance.
do not have
Water.
rain. You don't have rain from the sky.
So what should you do? What should you do? Conserve water, save water for the purpose of the balance 8,660 hours. If you need water, you must save the 100 hours of water. Only then you have water for the balance. So water conservation starts from so that is the karma bhumi component of it used. The karma bhumi component starts there. The punya bhumi, yes, your karma bhumi starts because only 100 hours of rain. You have to save for balance 8,660 hours. That is where the rainwater harvesting concepts itself starts for the
So
Bharadam
what are
land itself.
Indians known for? Anywhere you go in the world, what do they call Indians as? Savings,
Saving.
right? Mentality of savings. Always. So where does that mentality come from?
I'm sure all of you know this old Tamil song. Amma kitta kuduthu vei chellakannu, aara nooru aakuvanga chellakannu. It's a 70-year-old song. I'm sure all of you, many of you heard the song, right? Give it to your mother and keep. Even a 6 rupee note, she'll make it 100 rupees. So she knows how to save. Isn't it? Where does the Bharata ethos of saving come from? From this rain. We knew we have 100 hours of rain, we had to save for balance 8,860 hours. 66. So that is, so look, our ethos is ingrained by our geography. Our ethos is ingrained by our punya bhumi. Our ethos is ingrained by our karma bhumi. So what is the approach to IKS? This is the approach to IKS.
You have to relate to Bharata's nature. Nature of Bharata. Bharata Dharma. And this Dharma, so Bharata Dharma is, we understood what is our nature. We understood our land. We understood its strengths. We understood its weaknesses. And therefore we acted according to it and developed our practices. And which is what you will find reflected in the various Shastra. So you will find Kupa Shastra and all. Why write Kupa Shastra? Why
Kupa
write
means
about
well.
wells? If you're not, if you have so many rivers, why do you need wells?
Why do you write about Tadagam? I'm sure there must be a road called Tadagam Road in Coimbatore. I waited on the road for some 45, 50 years ago, so I know that. But is there a Tadagam there? There's only a road called Tadagam Road. So, what is that? There's a treatise on Tadagam.
So, this is the fundamental. Then, it comes to the point of why Varsha, call it Varsha at all. Why not some other name for Varsha? So, for rain.
Yes,
yeah. How many minutes more do we have?
Another 35 minutes, am I right? 35 minutes.
30 minutes, okay. So why call it Varsha? We have actually written a beautiful article on this.
We
I
made a
would like
film
you to
also, right?
urge you to read, but in very small, short,
Why call it
brief
Varsha? Why call
form.
Varsha? Why call the term Varsha as Varsha? What does it mean? Why
So
cannot
the
call something
root
else?
comes from the root vr. And from this, the beautiful way to understand this root vr is to understand the name for one of the asura, as they call it, Vritra. Vritra is the name for one of the asura. And this word Vritra means stickiness, cloud-like stickiness. So something that makes things stick, adhere, okay, aggregate and adhere. Now, why call Varsha is also supposed to come from that root. Now start thinking. See, the Swamiji said, no, think, ask questions. Ask questions. Vritra, Varsha. What is there which is common between Vritra and Varsha? Cloud is different. Clouds give rain, that is one aspect. But what else? We are talking about dharma. We are talking about nature. Try to understand the nature of rain. What is the nature of rain? What is the nature of rain? How do you call rain? It's a shower, right? Shower means what?
Lot of droplets coming together.
Lot of droplets.
Lakhs and crores of droplets coming together. So they stick together, come together as.
So rain is one column where, so the drops are not dissipated everywhere. They are coming to you as one column of rain, one Varsha,
That is
one
why we have a
shower.
very ancient word called Varsham Purihirathu, isn't it? Varsham that is showers rain. That's what it is. So look at the idea. So they have to stick
they
together.
named it based on the nature of rain.
The gunam, the
So-
character.
Why then for time? Why for year? Why should year also be called Varsha? Now set your mind thinking, I've shown you a pattern.
The aggregate.
No,
The aggregate of the.
aggregate of days and nights coming one after the other. One Varsham is not one separate entity. Rain is not one separate entity. Rain is made up of many, many drops of water sticking together. Varsham there's nothing called Varsham. It is, but day and nights are real. So many units of day nights coming together, joining together, make a Varsham.
Varsham year.
Then what is Bharata Varsham? Why
Land.
call land Bharata Varsham? Yes? Very good.
Many
So-
habitations coming together to make up one compositeness.
But one thing we are missing in this. Just everything coming together, apple, mango, banana, everything together, is it like a Varsham? Pardon me? Common. So that is the key. Rain means similar drops of water. They are similar. Drops of water are similar. Year, days and nights, they are all similar. So Bharata Varsham means so many lands, different lands. One is in Burma, one is in
Afghanistan, one is in Nepal.
South and all that. Still, why are they similar? What is similar about them? They've got different mountains, different rivers, climates.
Different
and all.
language, different facial features, different
What
dress,
is similar?
different food.
Huh? Land? No. I mean, we are making. They're all
Geographically.
the land. The whole earth is the land. Where do you draw the line? Concept of dharma, the thought, the culture.
Sindanai.
That is what is the culture.
Kalacharam. We say no. So in that, she says beautifully in different sessions, what is the root of the concept of Kalacharam? Your practice. What do you call your practices? Achar. Achar. Your practice, acharam, achar. Your practice, daily practice, achar. And in an area, see the achar of Coimbatore is very different from the achar of Madurai or the achar of Aurangabad or the achar of Sambhaji Nagar or some other different. So what do you have there? You have something called Desam Achar. So your local practice is different from local practice some other place. So you have Desa Achar.
So then what is this Kalacharam then? So is there something separate? So you're finding Desacharam is so different. What you eat here is different from what you eat there. What you wear, what you speak. So then what is this common dharma, this common Kalacharam that we are talking about? It is the thought. It is the vicharam. It is
Charam.
the vicharam that
Acharam to vicharam.
wherever you go, respect the desacharam. Whosever desacharam it is, respect that desacharam.
That's why in English
That is the kalacharam. Kalacharam is not something separate with its own language, dress and feature and all that. The kalacharam is very abstract. It's in your thought. It's your vicharam. That every desacharam which is concrete has to be respected. And it is this thought, vicharam, which is spread over all these different places which form Bharatavarsha.
Clear now? So, the idea of Dharma to Bharatavarsham to Varsha to Vichara to Kalacharam, Desacharam, Acharam, daily practices. All of this cumulative makeup, this is what is the understanding in IKS. This is what the approach to IKS is all about. Now we'll show you a little bit of that. You want to see any more films?
Now to show you one scientific aspect, this is something that you'll really appreciate. We'll go into the word Tibet, how Tibet is formed.
Why is Tibet called Tibet?
I'll show it to you as a film itself so that it is short.
Pause. Why is Tibet called Tibet? Of course, Tibet is an anglicized term. Tibet is not an Indian term. What is the original name for Tibet?
Somebody said Trivishtab.
Very good, Trivishtab. Why is it called Trivishtab? Good, your mountains and terrains, but why Trivishtab? Why
What
not
is the tree in
Chaturvishtab?
it? What
Or
is
why
the-
not Dvivishtab? Why not Panchavishtab? What is a tree? Of what? Tree of what? Three regions, excellent, beautiful.
So let's look at this.
The land to the north of Himalayas is called Tibet. Tibet is called Trivishtab in Sanskrit language. How did Tibet get its name?
The Indian plate, slowly moving northwards in the remote past, hit the Asian plate many million years ago. When it hit the Asian plate, it created a crumple. What came of this crumple is a massive range of mountains. This crumpled mountain range stretched from Tehran in Iran in the west to Hanoi in Vietnam in the east. This is what we now call the Himalayan range. This impact had created 3 crumple zones in this Himalayan range. The lower range is known as Shivalik, where life exists in abundance. The middle range is known as Mahabharat, the great range that encapsulates the northern borders of the land of Bharat. The third and the highest range is called Himalaya, always covered in snow.
Because of these 3 layers or crumpled zones, the flat land on the other side of the Himalayas came to be called Trivishtab, meaning the thrice folded land. This word Trivishtab got anglicized and became Tibet. We thus see that this land Tibet had a scientific name, Trivishtab, from a geological happening.
So, our ancient Rishi Muni knew geology, not just geography, they knew geology, that the land is thrice folded and the land on the other side, on the flat table land, that is Trivishtab. Land on the thrice folded is Trivishtab. So, they knew that the geology also, look at the beauty, and geology is what, see, geography, what do you call geography? Subject geography in Indian language, what do you call it? Bhushastra. Bhugolam, Bhushastra. What do you call geology? Bhugarbha Shastra. Because it's on the earth, it's inside the earth. So you study top surface of the earth, that's Bhushastra. Inside the earth you study as Bhugarbha Shastra. So they knew Bhugarbha Shastra, that's why they knew Trivishtab concept. Otherwise they would not have known, isn't it? So look at so they knew India was not, it was near Madagascar. There's reason for it, that's the reason for the Palghat Gap itself. That's a different session, different day, that's a long session, we have to do that. So now the idea is, these are all the approaches to IKS. Now for the next 20 minutes, we look at little more. We have covered the opening. Normally we take opening itself, we take 90 minutes, 180 minutes, just to get an opening sense. Okay, so we'll now look at.
This would have now impressed upon you how IKS cannot just be studied by taking one book on Shastra and flipping the pages and just interpreting the verses. You have to start relating to those verses. You have to start understanding why those techniques were used by this land. So for that, therefore, and we are doing all this from scratch, unfortunately, today. So first and foremost, we have to first build in ourselves the sense of awareness of Bharatam, awareness of this Dharma aspect of Bharat, and then start training our mind to receive this knowledge, build up appreciation. That's why we call this leading IKS from awareness to application. You have to start with awareness and get a sense of appreciation for all this. It is only then you will open up your mind to assimilate it, and it will be easy. Because now, anytime you hear Tibet or any child is exposed to Tibet, he will automatically know all these aspects of how Tibet was formed, the 3 ranges, everything will come to his mind in just one word.
And when you say the word Rasa Ayana, you know what it is. Rasa Ayana, that's what it is. You will immediately know. Any word you take, Bhu Shastra, you know what it is. Bhu Garbha Shastra, the name says it. Because the English name doesn't give you any meaning of it. If you say Tibet, doesn't give you any meaning to it. Whereas the Indian names, when you say Sahayadri, you know what is the Sahayam it's doing. Say Western Ghats, what does it mean? Nothing. You can have Western Ghats in America also. You can have Western Ghats in Siberia also. What does it mean? Nothing. But the moment you say Sahayadri, you know what it means. You know Mega Alaya, you know what it means. You know Hima Alaya, you know what it means. Every word has a layer of meanings in it. That is the approach to IKS we have to take. Every word, every word has it. That's
so it's only after this can you start working on things like research, adaptations of those knowledge for present times. So then you have to also be clued into the present situations and what is needed, because what has already been used up has led to all the development so far. Now what else is needed in present times, what can you leverage, and then from there on comes the application. So we typically like to say that the first 3 stages of awareness to assimilation is from a civilizational perspective. It is needed by every one of us, not just those who are going to go into research and coming up with innovations. It is for the sustainability and the research. That is when you start to find the need for adaptation and application. And why do you need IKS? If you see, the World Economic Forum has already said that there are some skills which are called the social and emotional learning skills. And very few are actually classified as the core literacy. There are just 6 core literacy. Everything else out of 16 skills, they are competency and character skills. And what builds character? We just saw character is dharma. So dharma is what is the understanding of this dharma, understanding of this nature of the sciences is what is crucial.
I'm going to ask you one question. All of you teach algebra. All of you teach biology. All of you teach chemistry, zoology, physics. Is the physics you teach here different from the physics taught in Egypt or Persia or Singapore or China or Europe or Siberia? Is the botany you teach here similar? Zoology you teach here, chemistry you teach, all of you teach the same periodic table? Any difference? Across the continents of the earth, across the school systems of what you teach in Scandinavia is what you teach the same periodic table. So how are you going to have the Bharata people different? This is not a question that we are asking today. It was asked by the World Economic Forum, WEF. How does the local civilization make you, mold you different? So they came up and said, these are the core skills that everybody teaches same. Across continents. No difference. Syllabus is almost similar, isn't it? So then what is different? That's where she comes in. Okay.
So character qualities, even competency skills through workshops and other such training, you can develop. It's a skill. But what about a quality? A quality can only be developed by making them realize who they are and what is their land, what do they come from, their background, and their roots.
Look, go back to one slide. Could you explain this third part? Explain. So these are the character gunam, character quality skills are unique to Bharatam. That makes you a world leader. That makes you think different. That is what can be taught only by institutions like this, where they want to teach quality, they want to teach spirituality, they want to teach Bharatam. So that is the idea that comes in. That is where, this is what World Economic Forum says, how each land can be different, each student of each land can be different. And we can be we are already world leaders the last 50 years in this. So this is what they impress. So this is where the approach to IKS comes actually, if you see. Go ahead.
And to develop these kind of traits, we do have a large legacy to develop, to leverage. And then comes the question of why IKS, what is this IKS? It is something, it is not, see the mistake we make is by calling it ancient knowledge. It is ancient knowledge, but it is also, and when the moment you use the word ancient, people immediately, the switch becomes it is ancient, it
old,
is irrelevant.
Not of use to us.
It's old, it's no longer valid, no longer useful. It is traditional knowledge. It is traditional knowledge, and it is to help you become relevant in present times. That is the key important aspect.
See, in Malaysia, do you know what they say? They have the term called Bhumi Putra. Malaysia, it's a very common idea, Malaysia, Bhumi Putra. What is Bhumi Putra? It's an Indian word, but now used in the Malaya language. But they want you to be rooted to your earth. Mannin Maindan. That's what we say, is it? Bhumi Putra. So the idea, world over is coming to this, to be a Bhumi Putra. That is, you should know about yourself. If you don't know who I am, then what you go to elsewhere? That is where the approach to IKS comes in very, very essential here.
So we can take it as a tool that helps us build awareness for a sustainable living. And why the Indian knowledge? All the more relevant because we have been a sustainable civilization and we have sustained flourish for millennia.
Pause here. Any economics professors here? Economics faculty? Nobody? Okay, fine. These economic models, that they come up in the world, like globalization model, this model, that model. Every year they come up with new models, they all get Nobel Prize, all those things. How many years do these economic models actually survive in the world? Economically sustain, survive in the world. All the so-called big historians of the world, big economists of the world, they come up with detailed models. How long do they survive? 10 years, 20 years, that's all. There's a new model. So the old model, the life of an economic model that's come up in the West is only 10 years. It's only 20 years.
The word economics itself is very different. I mean, Bharata did not really need economics. Economics is when you have a shortage and you want to regulate and make sure it is distributed properly.
What does the word economics mean? The word economy, economize. What does it mean? Dealing with shortage. Economica, I'm not about your shortage, dealing with shortage. What is Bharatam?
In scarcity, how
what
do
is
you manage?
Bharatam? A land of abundance. You have enough rain. Abundance of rain, abundance of food, abundance of good people, abundance of good ideas, abundance of production. So you're dealing with abundance. Whereas West was dealing with shortage. So contrary styles of it. So Bharatam was sustainable civilization for 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years. So our economic model is very different from the European model. Because we have 3 bogam. 3 bogam of rice, wheat, vegetables, etc. How much does Europe have? Finland have, Scandinavia have, Germany have. Only 1 bogam a year. Russia have 1 bogam a year. So they have to deal with 1 bogam of food. We have 3 bogams of food. Look at the so your IKS model changes totally. See the approach now? So economics changes. That is what it is. So the idea of economics, so people talk globalization. Now people have stopped talking about globalization because it's a model that was 30, 40 years. It's now gone out of the window. So which is the model in the world, economics, that has sustained, survived for 2,000, 3,000 years? The Bharata model. Only model in the world. Every other economic model have short 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years models. Only. So we should know what is the Bharata model of economics. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. We'll deal with it. So all that is there in the book. Go ahead.
So fundamentally we need to develop that ability to relate to your land, your resources, the strengths, ethos, culture and so on. And it is to get confidence and dare. See, the moment you see, okay, this is what the civilization has been and it has documented it, it has been successful, it is going to give you that confidence to dare and emulate it as well. There's no point just studying it. So, as we are saying, therefore, when you say IKS, it is to get to know all the various aspects of the Indian civilization, right from its geography, why does it rain, and then going down to history. So, okay. So, if you have lost, so we are saying economics is for the West where it is scarcity, whereas Bharata is abundance. So, these two can't really match. We have been a land of abundance. But then today you see something different. So you need to know the history as where, what happened. So every little aspect of Bharat you have to know and understand and appreciate it. That is when your IKS knowledge will get totally rounded and you'll be able to put it to use in the right manner. So every aspect actually gives you a lot more. So if you, each of these aspects also has their own knowledge body behind. So geography, like we say, Bhushastra, Bhugarbha Shastra, there's a lot of knowledge available. In history, how to document history. There are 22 methods in which we have been documenting history.
Yeah, many people tell us, especially Europeans will tell you what. Sir, in the image book, sir. So, see, people will tell you what. Indians did not write history.
They did not have a way of documenting history. We never documented our history.
We had 22 varieties of document history. We did not document history the way Europeans documented their history, that's all. We had 22 varieties, that is also there. So, everything.
Each of these industry, how to, different industries, I mean, we don't look just as industry, we even look at each of those industries, we have a knowledge base. And trade, we have a knowledge base. We have for navigation, society. Nav Shastra is there in this.
The biggest ships of the world were from Bharadam. We made a film on it, watch it later. Because of paucity of time, we don't have, the film is available in the YouTube channel to watch later. Now, I'll come to festivals. See, when you say the word festival, it has got no meaning. What is the word we use in Bharadam for the word festival? Utsav. What does Utsav mean? Very good, sir. What does Utsav mean?
Why Utsavam?
Why Utsavam? Utsav, what does it do? Uplift you. It uplifts you. So every Utsavam, every Utsav, every festival is uplifting. Uttishta, Uttishta, Narasadula, Uttishta. Utsavam is uplifting, isn't it? The word festival, is it uplifting?
It only reminds me of your feast.
Festival is feast, that's
all.
all.
And then sleeping.
So, look at the idea for so Utsav means uplift. So, you are both, that's why I said matter and mind, Sukshma and Sthula, gross and physical, we need to, and spiritual, all that. So, uplifting is come only from our idea of Utsavam, Utsav.
So, after all this, one thing that you will now realize, you would have come to realize, if you ask what is Bharata Dharma, the Dharma of the Bharata civilization itself with respect to knowledge, you will find that it is scientific thinking and metaphorical expression. So we unfortunately have got stuck with the metaphoric expression. We meaning even the world looks only at the metaphor.
Everywhere.
We have not transcended to see the science behind it.
What is the word for science in Bharadam, all across Bharadam? Okay, Vigyan, good. What is Gyan? What is Vigyan? The later half of the word is Gyan. First half of the what is Vigyan? What is the difference between Gyan and Vigyan? Gyan is there. When you go deep into the Gyan, dissect, bisect, trisect, quadrisect, you go into Vigyan, special. The V stands for one component is special, one component is deep dive. So you take up a component, deep dive into it, and then you understand the Gyan in that, the knowledge, Jnanam. Look at the word, the Bharadam word, Nya, to know. Look at the English word, Anglican word, to know. Also comes from the Bharadam word, Nya. Knowledge, Jnanam. What are the other words in the East Mediterranean for Nya? Gospel, Gnostics. People who are knowledgeable are called Gnostics, knowledgeable. People who write from knowledge, people, what they write is called gospel. Same root, Nya, to know, Jnanam.
So in IKS,
Vijnanam, deep dive into that Nya is Vijnanam. So that is anything you dissect, trisect, quadrisect, pentasect, go deep into it is Vijnanam. That's special.
so anything to do with IKS, it's not just about facts, reading just facts, laws, principles, and then applying or you trying to use it. It is also to understand the foundation, the nature, the root which has caused these facts to manifest. So that is very important, the ethos. So it's not just about the mind, but also the mindset is important. So these are going to be the challenges in IKS. Not only do we have to bridge the past and the future, the old and young, because all this knowledge today, right now, we want to give it to the young, but it is currently with people who are elders. How do you learn it from them? And then this aspect of ancient versus modern, rather wipe it with the word traditional rather than just say ancient. And then the aspect of knowledge being there, but there also being wisdom in it. So there is, the wisdom is what comes from understanding the dharma. And skill set is not enough, the mindset was also needed.
Mind
and that
is important,
needed
mindset is important, more important. So what are we doing now? We're all Setu. This is the Setu Bandhana. Rama and Sugriva and Nala and Neela and Hanuman, all the Vanara built the Setu Bandhana to Lanka 7,100 years back. We have also got a task as Ramaduta to build the Setu Bandhana now in the knowledge sphere, because Bharata is a land of knowledge. We are all Bharatiya, people who relish knowledge, and we have to build the Setu Bandhana of Jnana, Vijnana. That is our task. So that is our karma. This is where a karma bhumi. You know, we are a punya bhumi, also in a karma bhumi to build this Setu Bandhana between our tradition and our modern application.
There are many paradigm differences. We may not have time to discuss. Each one is there, but I just want to bring to your notice. Others just deal with the gross. We deal with the subtle as well. He spoke about Vidya, Paravidya and Vidya, Aparavidya and all. Then about water management. Many civilizations, if you see, they have gone and settled where the rivers flow, like Nile and Tigris and Euphrates and all. You'll find the civilization along the river. In Bharata, you find it along the river. You also find everywhere throughout Bharata, where there is no river also, because we knew the technique of bringing water to where we live.
That is a difference. Every other civilization in the world went and settled where the water river was. What did we do? We brought water to where we live by bringing all the canals. You have so many Chola canals, Pandya canals, Chera canals. You have. What did we do? All the Eri, Tadagams, we brought water and we saved water to where we are living. So even this place is Punya Bhumi. So as I was just discussing with Swamiji an hour back before we started, people in English, they use a very wrong phrase. They say, goddamn it, goddamn world. No.
God-forsaken land.
God-forsaken land. I said, no. Every part of this earth is God-given, God-ordained. Every part is Punya Bhumi. There's no Apunya Bhumi. Every part is Punya Bhumi. Isn't it?
So it all lies in trying to understand the nature of that land, that desachar, and doing that karma in that land. That is should be the kalachar of every person on this entire world.
That citizen. Because many people, we have students and faculty with us who learn from us across the world. So it is wherever you are, that place is your kalachar, understand that language, that geography, and live as per that norms with dharma. That is what is important. So that's why we have the term, Vedic term called Krinvanto Vishvam Aryam. Wherever you go, make that place noble. That is what all our rishis did. Krinvanto Vishvam Aryam. You go anywhere you go, want in the world, but make that place also noble. By your deeds, by your acts, by your knowledge, by your research, by your teaching. That's the beauty. That is Bharatam.
So many points like about the saving versus spending, giving versus receiving attitude. Our whole idea is to be indebted, whereas West is all entitled. Duty versus right. So many different points are there.
She said, see, West, what do you say? What is my entitlement is the thought. Here, what is my duty is my thought. Who is the first person in West who said, we also have to think of duty? Anybody? In 1960, somebody made a big statement. John F. Kennedy, who said, ask not what your country is doing for you, ask what you can do for your country. First time they said, what can you do? Till then only what you can get. Like that, Bharatam is always about karmanye vayati karastu ma phalish kada. So the idea is, what is it you do? So it's a mindset difference is what we can bring in to approach to IKS.
And unfortunately, what happened to this entire knowledge system is when the British came and they stopped the Indian schooling methods, they did not replace it immediately either. So there were a few generations that lost out. And then they introduced their system. We showed in another place where how it is a copy from ours, but minus so many other things. But it is minus these layers of the dharma. So which is why the Gandhiji, when he went to Chatham House in 1931, he says that India is more illiterate today because you have cut off our tree and you have exposed the roots. So that is why the book Beautiful Tree, many of you would have read that book.
In our book, Breaking the Myths About Society, we substantially deal with all contents on the book because we had the opportunity about 25 years back of sitting with Dharampalji, sitting by his cot literally in the evenings every day and taking notes and talking to him in Sevagram, Varda. Did that. So the idea, so that's how the Beautiful Tree got cut. So when he called it Beautiful Tree, Gandhiji, in 1931.
The knowledge system of Bharat, he called it the Beautiful Tree.
So now we see Vriksham, we call it Vata Vriksham, Vriksham. That's why our book cover is, see, IKS book cover itself is the Vriksham. See, look at that, that's why we showed Vriksham with all the birds. Each bird represents an Upanishad there. Each of the animals there represents one of them.
So to stress this point about how Indian knowledge is about metaphor, we designed this cover with all the metaphors of Indian knowledge. One, knowledge for us is a Vriksham, tree of knowledge. And we have the peacocks here on this tree as a symbol for Ma Saraswati. Then we have the crows here for our Pitrus, the ancestors who have given us this knowledge. We have these birds which are nesting to show that we have to safeguard this knowledge. We have the horse here. Horse is also symbolic as Hayagriva because the Veda is linked with this Hayagriva, both for the voice and for the preservation. The cow, we all know how cow, go is another word for knowledge.
Go, Gotra, go.
Then the frog, Manduk. So there are beautiful works which also help you leapfrog.
You. So that's why I got Mandukya Upanishad.
Very short, shortest, but then it really leapfrogs. It's got so much of information that can help you leapfrog straight away.
Take a long jump.
Then look at this. You have the deer. The deer in Indian knowledge. These are all metaphors, in Indian knowledge.
Sarangan.
Sarang, deer stands for attentiveness, alertness.
Very sharp, very attentive.
Very swift and silent learner, because that is why when Buddha was doing his sermon, you had the deer who were silently listening, which is why that park came to be called Sarnath near Varanasi.
Why is it Sarnath?
And you will see Buddha with deer next to him.
So very attentive, very fast, very swift.
Then cow again as a Kamadhenu. Knowledge gives you various forms of wealth. Goat here associated with Daksha Prajapati. Daksha means skill. So what is knowledge if there is no skill to apply it? So skill is equally important.
Skill India, what is skill? Comes from the word Daksha. What is the English word for skill? When you're very skillful doing something, what do you call that in English?
Yes, dexterity.
Dexterity. Where does the English word dexterity come in the last 700 years? From Daksha. Daksha means skilled. You are skilled, ambidextrous. You can do same, you can bat with both hands. You can bowl with both hands. Dexterity. That's the English word. Where do you get root for it? From Dakshan. Dakshayini. So the Indian word has gone there and come back to us and say we are very dexterous.
And when you face east, what is on the right side? Which is your skill
You suppose
hand?
this is east.
Dakshin. Dakshin. That is why south is Dakshin. Because south is on your right hand. Daksha, the hand of Daksha, dexterity.
East, west. When you say the sun moving, what is here? Daksha, skill.
Indian knowledge system
Deccan.
is highly nuanced, but once you start understanding and seeing it, the appreciation will be never
See,
ending.
we are only showing the chabi how to open the lock. Then you
You
open the
know
lock
why
yourself.
we are all called Bharata. People who relish, we have relished it and beautifully expressed it. And look at this, another word for what are scientists called? They are called Ashwinau.
All
And
the
horses,
scientists.
and they are represented. What is Ashwinau? Ashwini, Ashwin, Ashwa, horse. And why the choice of a horse? Because the horse represents balance, stability. The horse trot is very, very,
Very balanced.
rhythmic,
Vidade.
very ordered.
Steady.
So balance
Beautiful.
na horse, because balance is denoted by legs. And legs, a beautiful synonym is the horse gait of a horse. It moves very beautifully. So horse represents, and therefore scientists are supposed to be very balanced. Just because you know
won't jump.
something, you cannot go and invent and discover it. You're supposed to be balanced in thought to see whether it is of use, whether it's good or bad, think right through pros and cons, and then come to a conclusion.
Ashwinau. So all scientists are Ashwinau because they are very balanced in their approach. Because they use both Sukshma and Sthula. They balance both.
And then the honeycomb, because this is a knowledge which is not just one revelation, it is across generations and generations
the moons.
of rishis, across moons, like how the
Across
honeybee
moons.
collects honey over moons and keeps it there. This is a knowledge that's been collected across millennia. And we have the parrots, because right from Sukha Maharishi, why do you show Sukha? Who was Sukha Maharishi? Descendant of Veda Vyasa.
Son.
And he is the one who takes the Veda to everybody. He propagates the Veda, which has been recompiled, not composed, recompiled for the 28th time by Maharishi Krishna Dvaipayana, who we call Veda Vyasa. And he is shown with a parrot face. Was it a person who had a parrot face? No, it's metaphorical to show that this knowledge is propagated through repetition, Shruti. So repetition, it has been propagated like a parrot. So, and it stands for that Guru Sishya Parampara. Through Guru's mouth, you listen, the Shishya listens, and the Parampara keeps going forward. And things like the Titir, to show
It's a
that there are
patronage bird.
various Upanishads, different
Taitri Upanishad
things.
comes from Titir, the bird. Taitri Upanishad.
And it represents the, and if you go to the story of Taittiriya Upanishad, it will show you why it was called Taittiriya Upanishad. But that's not the point. The point we're trying to emphasize is there are works. These works, they further give rise to more works which pick from various points of this and come up with newer works. So it is a huge knowledge system that is spread its roots, and it is a knowledge system which also has Hamsa as a bird, which is able to discern, separate milk from water.
What does it do? Separate milk from water. You can discern the capacity to discern. What are your teachers, faculty? You can discern knowledge. The concept of discernment, that is knowledge. That's Bharadam.
And with all this, this knowledge is spread wide, deep for ages. And the water drops here to show nature's bountiful blessings and our knowledge and wisdom to conserve all of them. So this, we wanted to bring all these aspects, and which is why we put a cover. Of course,
The
you
book
may
cover
not have
itself is
all
this.
these birds sitting on the tree, but then you do have all these birds in our Indian knowledge system tree. And with that, we would...
Show where the book is for them.
Yeah,
It's a
I will
see,
show you now
we
where
have-
all this is.
Since what is in the book, we are not said here because that's going to read anyway if you want to. It's a free read book in our website. The other thing, many other things we said is available mostly for free accessing of knowledge. Please do. Our time is up, so we'll close with this. One more
You
slide.
just go to our Bharat Gyan website, homepage. If you go here, you will come to the flip books. All the films that we showed you, Varsha, they're all here in the film section. The moment you click from here, it will open the playlist. There are many playlists. They're all arranged by the names. You can
We have only some 875 films till date.
So
We add every week, we add one or two more films, so we keep adding. So you can watch
look
it.
at
All the
these
subjects,
which
watch.
are-
All for free use.
India, that is Bharat, Amazing India, there are many of them.
Watch.
That you can watch.
In English, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannadam, Marathi, we have films.
And the book on this IKS, From Awareness to Application, you will find it over here. There is a book on understanding Hindu Dharma also here. Then you have this book here. It will
IKS.
open just there. You can flip and read
It's a
it.
flip book.